Head to wind she'd have been as right as rain. That's where I've always thought.
Yet that is how we found the wreck of the Gaul, facing almost directly into the weather at that time. Further research would be required to establish how much that direction could have been affected by underwater currents as she sank. But on the face of it, our evidence suggests she came gently to rest, facing into the wind. But our pictures did reveal one final extraordinary mystery. Because when we examined the tapes again, we discovered something stranger still, not far from the wreck. A cable unlike any of the steel trawl ropes lost in the area.
Just now it has some tension because it's not laying down into the depressions in the seabed. It's quite some tension on the cable or whatever it is. It has to be attached to something in both ends or it is very long.
But does it have anything to do with the Gaul? Christian, extremely experienced in this kind of underwater work, is increasingly suspicious about what we've found.
I'm thinking that steel rope or cable has no connection with the wreck. That's my opinion. But,
it's been laid there afterwards.
It might have something with the story or something attached to the wreck, but I can't figure out the direction of it. To me, it doesn't look like a steel rope.
Certainly the cable does not look like the trawl rope scattered elsewhere around the wreck. It's too thick and it lies differently.
If you come fast and break something, it isn't just laid on the ground because there's so much tension. It'll spring and go in different directions.
So this is a complete mystery, really.
Yeah, in a way it's a mystery, yes. To me, I mean, maybe off the record, but to me, it looks like a kind of cable, a communication cable. But I've seen that before, that has been confirmed as a communication cable, but I know nothing about that in this area.
These could be communication cables?
To me, it looks like it, because I couldn't see any sign that this is a steel rope.
But we're not aware of any mapped communication cables?
No.
So it's unlikely to be a known public, commercial line, but it could be perhaps a military line?
Yes, perhaps. Yeah.
Christian's reluctance to commit himself was understandable. There has never been any report of a military cable in that area, until now. This is the Andøya military airbase in Norway, in the early 70s the focus of a major political scandal when peace campaigners revealed that the West had laid a top-secret anti-submarine detection device on the seabed some 30 miles out to sea and linked by cable to the airbase. The system, known as SOSUS, was designed in conjunction with anti-submarine reconnaissance aircraft to monitor the passage of Russian submarines in this strategically vital area. What's never before been revealed is that around 1968, the Americans funded a far more ambitious SOSUS project. Codenamed Poker, it's remained top secret until now. According to information from Norwegian military sources, this cable began at a land station on Sarøya Island and ran for around 120 nautical miles to a position approximately 50 miles to the north of North Cape, almost exactly where we found the wreck of the Gaul. So we tracked the compass bearing of the cable we'd found, and it led directly back towards Sarøya, the very route the SOSUS cable must travel. So did the Gaul simply sink there by a tragic coincidence? Or could she have had a more direct involvement? Is that why the authorities have been so reluctant to search for the wreck? Or could it even be that such activities attracted the attention of the Russians?
What surprised me really was that trawler was sunk by the Russians for a normal intelligence operation like this. So I don't think that would be thinkable in the mid-70s. If they went to a step like this, there must be a much more serious or a perceived serious reason to do it.
And at that time there were few issues more serious than the deployment of the Soviet Union's new Delta submarines. For the first time, Russian submarines no longer had to leave their home seas. they could fire nuclear missiles direct from the Barents Sea over the pole into America.
So if, just supposing if, the Soviet Union had something to do with the loss of the Gaul, what would you be looking for on the seabed?
Well, if you take the place of sinking into consideration, I would suspect it had something to do with submarines, submarine detection, submarine destruction. It could be placing Western systems, but it certainly also could be destruction or detection of Soviet systems for detecting submarines passing this area.
And what would these systems look like?
There could be cables, there could be buoys, or other things placed on the seafloor.
So could the mystery of the Gaul have something to do with secret underwater equipment? Could she have been involved with it in some way when the weather worsened? Was she towing some monitoring device, or even engaged in helping to lay or recover some lost equipment? Would that explain some strange images we had discovered on the side-scan sonar printouts?
To me, it looks like impacts or something, cable or steel rope that has been left on the seabed and then lifted off again.
It's impossible to tell from this what's been going on, but something has been going on.
Something has been going on, yes.
So if the Gaul was involved in whatever was going on, could that be the explanation for the most abiding mystery surrounding her loss? Could that be why she delayed transmitting a mayday until it was too late to do so?
What would you say to relatives who say, we were lied to about the trawler fleet being involved in spying? Why should we believe the government when they say that the Gaul wasn't involved in spying?
I'd have a great deal of sympathy with that, because quite palpably I was wrong in what I said about the fleet not being engaged in intelligent gathering. If I was misled, I think it's for the Secretary of State to ensure that practices have changed and it won't ever happen again. I think they have every reason to feel that if I was wrong on one, I could have been wrong on the other. I think if I was a Secretary of State, I would look very carefully indeed at the papers and see whether, in respect of the fate of the Gaul, I or anyone else gave a false account of what was happening. I think it's for the Secretary of State now to take an initiative and satisfy himself on these very difficult but very important issues.
Indeed, if there is one conclusion to be drawn from our investigation, it is surely that the call for a full inquiry and survey of the wreck can no longer be ignored. After 23 years, the relatives at last know the where. The government must now answer the why.
It's been a bit haunting. I mean, I've seen quite a lot of faces that I've never seen for 23 years, you know, keep coming back. So it was hurtful, I'd say. Anyway, at least a couple of more days I'll be able to sleep a lot better now. I know where it is, and I'll be glad that a lot of other people will know where it is and finally put it to rest.
It's really sad to sort of see it, but yeah, it's good. And it'll put a lot of people's minds at rest. And at least you can sort of say, well, we know where they are, kind of thing now. And just maybe take the memories back with you. That's it, really. Now we know where it is, we've found it. It's sad, but it's good. And I feel that we can take them all back home in our hearts, all of them, 36 of them. And we know, you know, we know where they are. There's something there then, and they can all go back home with us now.
Dispatches returns to 4 with another report next Thursday.